Copyright disclaimer. This content does not belong to Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has and always will belong to the content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles did not intend to make use of any material for the purpose of harvesting gain. However, Title 17 of United States copyright law states material in use can only be done when it's for theological or general educational purposes, and thus Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright law.
Ical, hijo, abre los ojos. cuerpo se queda con nosotros, pero tu espíritu debe seguir. Busca la luz. Aléjate de las sombras. Deja que nuestro dolor sea tu fuerza. Desde aquí iluminamos tu camino. Lucha como nosotros ante esta pena tan grande. Yo soy tú. Tú eres yo. La muerte que hoy nos separa, mañana volverá a unirnos. Eres libre, hijo.
Hey, shalom, family. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Hope you all doing well early in the morning. I don't got anybody on the chat or all, but it's all good. Listen, family, I just want to let y'all know that I have something extremely important to show you. Oh, hold on a second. It was brought to my attention through a beloved brother. You guys probably know who he is. Somos los Israelitas, right? Los indios somos Israelitas. And he was very kind enough to, obviously explore some of my videos. And he was very in his love for his people. He provided us with the one of the books that I've been looking for some time. And I mean, I've been looking for this book. And I might have even ran into it, man, and I just did not find the page. All praises to the Father, how he works. Now, I have a class in mind to do, but because of the emergence, and not emergency, but because the importance that I put on things that are obviously introduced to me ASAP, I want to make sure that I can share this part with you all. Hold on, let me take this off. Anyhow, so what I'm going to do is this. This is going to go for an hour and a half, and right around here, I'm going to bring out a map. And then I'm going to actually explain this map in thoroughness, go over some material. Then I'm going to show you all the book, and I'm going to give you guys the page, and I'm going to provide you the link. Okay? So obviously, please stick around. This is an excellent class, too. I don't know why a lot of people didn't really bother looking at it, but hey, man, when lunacy bleeds suspicion, it's one of my very first classes, family. Matter of fact, it's dated in August. That went up here, like halfway through. I mean, this started like in what? June? July? So 2 months in. And again, this is an extremely important material. All praises to you, brother. Let me just go ahead and make sure that I give me a second here real quick. Let me make sure. Give me a second, family. Give me a second. The brother's name is Los ¿Dónde estás? Los indios somos israelitas, okay? So stick around, family, man. This is awesome. You know what I mean? This is awesome. Hey, well, I'm telling you straight up, this type of information should be provided. And you know what? This is when brothers work together, man. When brothers work together in this truth, this is when you start finding really important information. Listen, I give props to this brother, man, because he can find some books that are very difficult to find. Very difficult to find, okay? And that only maybe at times you have to actually walk into a library and really go about this. So for all of y'all that are gonna stick around and watch, man, I appreciate you. For you guys that are just basically looking for entertainment, get the hell out of this channel and unsubscribe, please. I really don't like you guys. As you can see, we don't ask for donations. We don't ask for no charity money. We don't go around putting some I don't know, some random like donate. I see people donating to some channels that are just extremely like, wow, $50 here, $20 there, fam. Just be because it's entertainment. And it's not just when it's outside the Bible. It's done a lot with the Bible. Fopi loves to do that. I don't know, GMS don't take money. IUIC does take money because they force it out of their reps. Or yeah, they're reps. That's what they are, representatives of the school. And I know ISUPK forces people to pay. Does GMS force people to pay? I don't know. I haven't heard of it. I only heard a rumor. I haven't heard it from the horse's mouth, meaning somebody from their camp. So until I hear it from someone from their camp, and Sakari does too. And they take super chats. So again, I'm not here for that. But let's go ahead and just inquire about the fresh minds here. For all you that are going to be sincere about this walk with me, then walk with me. For all you that are just here for entertainment, get the hell out of here. Now, if you're here to scoff, I'm going to pay somewhat close attention to what you're scoffing about. But quite frankly, I ain't got no time anymore for you guys. It's silly dog work. All right, let's go. 2 Corinthians, verse 4. For if he that comes, another Jesus, whom we have not preached, or if ye receive another spirit which ye have not received, or another gospel which ye have not accepted, ye might well bear with him. Shalom, Israel. It's your brother Emmanuel again. There's been some times that I've been able to get a class out there. I've been really busy, to be quite frank with you guys. Anyhow, there's an important class that I want to share with y'all. Lord willing, it's edifying, and Lord willing, there are some of you out there that understand where I'm coming from with this. Okay. So anyhow, I'm not gonna say much. I'm gonna let the scriptures talk. I'll show you some videos. I'll make some points, and I'll try to get this done within an hour and a half. That's as much as I'm gonna try to do. Okay. So I'm gonna go rather quickly. All right. So without further delay, let's begin. Okay. So again, Shalom, Israel. All right, brother Emmanuel.
Your engine is not revving up. You know what you need? You need a Holy Ghost.
Okay, so I played this video because obviously the scriptures mention regarding preacheth another Yahweh, right? Now we know, Northern Kingdom, right? You so-called Hispanic and Native Indian. Since 1492, we've been dealing with this doctrine, these devils, this man religion, right? Since 1492, we've been dealing with this. Okay, it's very clear now to us who they are. Okay, I think at least for us that are in the truth, and for you that are listening to my channel for the first time, by the way, this is Bible Chronicles. Title of the class is When Thwarting Leads to Doubt. Okay, so anyhow, when it comes to what we've been dealing with, right? These religions, we're very familiar with this spirit. They brought white Jesus, Caesar Borgia, the Virgin Mary, fake tongues, obviously, the way that we see these videos, Christmas lies, and quite frankly, I know, you see, collectively as a nation, right? us Hispanics, Latinos, so-called, or Native Indians, we are sick. We're insecure and are destroyed. Okay. And for us, I know that at every block, obviously it's clear too, but for us at every block, we see our enemy diligently assassinating the very same collective memory of our heritage, which is why I'm disappointed, and this is why I'm making this video. And it's not disappointment because obviously the scriptures talk about these things, but matter of fact, I'll let the class show itself and y'all see what I'm talking about, okay? So let me go to Ecclesiastes 1:17 real quick. Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 17, and it reads, I gave my heart, meaning mind, to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. Okay, so this is part of learning the scriptures and gaining wisdom through keeping the commandments, because you do understand your follies and your madness prior to, and you know you can fall back into that. So you also see that spirit in other people. I perceive that this also is vexation of the spirit. Yeah, it definitely is, right? Verse 18, for in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. So as I've grown into this truth, right, I've obviously been strengthening spiritually. And when I came into this truth, right, I came into a particular camp, and I learned about, this here. And it was important to me because I knew that if you mention what has happened to our people, yeah, it made sense. Plus, coming from a chaotic home, you wanted brotherhood. You wanted, you're used to others feeling pain, so you relate to that. Plus, I never saw color. It didn't matter to me. I got nieces and nephews that are probably darker than some people that I know that are so-called black. All right. So I was really intrigued by everything, and I believed in that God was black and Christ was black, or Yahweh Shai, Adam, Moses, all the prophets. I believed all of that. You know what I'm saying? Also, this too. And I absolutely had no problem with it if it's exactly what the scripture said. It says Zechariah 12:7, right? Because as the scriptures before say, increased knowledge, increased sorrow. As you know in my class, is going to continue to see what I'm talking about. Zechariah 12:7. And the Lord Yahweh shall also save the tents of Judah first, and that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah. So obviously, not to get too much into it for the sake of time, there's a lot more involved in this when it's broken down, especially from somebody of a so-called Judah tribe, right? Which, again, no problem. No problem. I had no problem with this either. This right here. Hebrews, tombstones, right? At that time, that's all I knew, right? That's all I knew. I had no problem. I didn't know any better, obviously, right? Let me show you this real quick. See, I had no problem with that because when I came into the truth, I had already, all praise to the Most High, learned the spirit of Esau through, because I had friends that were so-called white. A brother-in-law who married my sister. We were real close. We were good friends. And then that Trump situation really opened my eyes into, like, I couldn't understand. This guy knew exactly what our family struggled like, right? We were at one point illegal. He saw everything, the hardship, the one-bedroom apartment, 9 people, and yet he still said that racist stuff that he said to me. He thought it was funny. And then later on, I go into the truth. So I didn't care about this, right? Obviously, this didn't convert me, but to me, better than the white man, right? Because I knew what the white man had done to my people. And then also this here. And, I'm in class. I'm sitting in class, right? And obviously, man, we could see Nobody's blind. I think we're adults, and I'm sitting in there, and because I'm in, obviously, man, I'm just happy to keep the commandments, happy to like that. I'm actually going to be able, like, I could see the changes in my life, so I continued. And they would actually say, yeah, you see, like, these are so-called black people. That look like a Hispanic man. They look like my cousin. He has curly hair, but look at the long nostril right there. I mean, look at the long nose. And they said they were black. They don't look black. I'll explain what that color is later on as we continue. All right. So all of this made sense to me, and you know what? It didn't have a problem. Genesis 2:7 at that time, all the scriptures that related to color. Okay, shoot, I still even remember for the first time, right? I had never seen this classical, right? I had never seen this before. So to me, it was actually pretty amazing. This is from Classical Bible Names. Remember? I'm pretty sure you guys remember. And they were pointing out how, like, hey, look, check this out. Edom. You see, in Hebrew, it's red. It's like, oh my God, yeah, you're right, right? And then look, Esau, you see? Because of Genesis 25. You see Esau, hairy. Well, right? You see that stuff, and I didn't have a problem with it. But as time went on, and I'm starting to grow more into the truth, and I'm starting to pay attention a little bit more, because you know what? I'm in my 40s, man. I'm closer to my 50s than in my 40s, in the early 40s, right? So I might have been new to the truth, but I have some sense. I grew up in a very chaotic home, in a very chaotic background, and all praises to the Most High, man, that I didn't have an education. I didn't go to college. I didn't freaking finish, some high school for that matter. And I had an accent at one point. But at that time, because of oppression, I worked hard to improve myself. That, So I mean, it's just, to me, it was more like, okay, let me continue in this faith, and let me continue in this truth. And there were things that I saw that I knew that I felt like I needed to put aside, and I'll deal with it later. And quite frankly, this is one of them. Okay. 1 Corinthians. So let me continue. I'll be shut up now. 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 33. And it reads this. It says, for God is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints. Okay? So it literally says that, right? God is not the author of confusion. We've already been confused by these religions of the so-called white man. We've already been through that. And they continue to oppress the so-called Hispanic. Every single time I can get a chance to do it, they'll do it. So, obviously, man, we've been through that again. So when I start seeing such things that are not making sense to me spiritually, it's like, what the hell does this mean? Because I pay attention to the pattern of everybody, right? And then you can tell whether they are of God or Satan, or if they're just bugging out, right? Let me go to Titus 2:1. Titus 2:1, it reads, but speak thou the things which become sound doctrine. Okay? Sound doctrine, remember that. That the aged men be sober, grave, temperate. Okay, let's find out what that word is real quick. Hold on, give me a second. Remember the word temperate, right? Temperate. All right, let's see. I kind of like this one more because it gives you a lot of different free dictionary. Okay, it says temperate. So here it's mentioning what? Temperate, right? Moderate of degree, quality, characterized of moderate temperature, exercising moderation, restraint, mind, and quality. You guys can look it up, right? I think it makes sense. Okay, so let me not and let me not just waste time doing this. So we understand what it means, right? That the aged men be sober. Aged men, this is men with age, right? Like myself, or a little bit older than me too, or a little bit younger than me, right? that the aged man be sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith. Remember that, all right? So that means like sound in unity, in a sense, in charity, in patience, right? So these older men are supposed to be what? Instructors of these younger men, and then these younger men are supposed to be examples of who the older men are. I mean, at least that's my understanding, and that's what I thought. That's what I learned in these rooms. You know, all praises to the Most High that I got to that level of understanding where I had to learn how to study the Bible. The white man wasn't going to teach me. I know that for a fact. So that's not the problem. But these things are.
And Chris Rock must get revenge in the spirit of Christ. He has to do it, or else he won't be a man. Let me tell you what my counsel, if Chris Rock was a man under my supervision, this is what I would counsel him to do. This is the only way Will Smith would understand. Chris Rock cannot fight him. Chris Rock cannot assault him. But you know what Chris Rock can do? Chris Rock can fuck his wife.
A lot of people can't accept that John the Baptist wasn't in the truth. Why wasn't John the Baptist in the truth? John the Baptist did amazing things. But John the Baptist, and when it mattered, he didn't stop what he was doing and be a follower of Christ. Right. You get what I'm saying? So you might have a status and you might have a following on YouTube. That means nothing to the Lord.
The prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. So Motai said he was going to send Elijah the prophet, which was a very powerful prophet if you know anything about these scriptures, before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord, which is when Christ returns. Read.
And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers.
So whoever this great prophet is going to turn us back to our fathers, which is the Bible, and the fathers back unto us or teach us. So right. I think, and we all know, about regeneration, that this could definitely be speaking about the bishop. That is the smart.
That you said it was okay to rape 12-year-old girls. I don't know if that's true. Which we teach now is that when you go into the law in the ancient world.
So I actually want to remind myself, because I did just catch that a little while ago before I started the video, right? Watch what he says. And again, I'm no disrespect to these elders here, because you're going to see exactly what I mean by this. And you brothers that are awake, and sisters too, you'll know where I'm coming from. Because I do care about all Israel. And I could give a rat's ass what they look like. But what I do care about is sound doctrine. And it's starting to sound a little confusing to me. And I feel like this has to come out. The Spirit's been having me get this done, because I sense that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to relate to this. And obviously, no knock on anything, but we need to be mindful and circumspect, because the times are at the end. Okay? And you'll see my point. Look what he says.
We all know, about regeneration, bishop.
Year-old girls. I don't know if that's true. Which we teach now.
What we teach now, right? You know why he says that? Remember, keep in mind that in Luke 6:45, let me get it real quick. Luke 6:45, it reads this, okay? So y'all need to be paying attention to people. And this is the part about, being able to keep the commandments, because the Most High is going to basically provide you those type of ears and open up your eyes as well, the spiritual aspects of it. It says here, a good man out of a good treasure of his heart, meaning mind, bringeth forth that which is good, right? And an evil man out of the evil treasure of his heart, mind, bringeth forth that which is evil. Here's my point. For of the abundance of the mind, heart, his mouth speaketh. Okay?
That's true. Which we teach now is that when you go into the law in the ancient world.
And this is where one West doctrine, which again I learned. The Most High obviously has a plan for every one of us, okay? Y'all, I'm not trying to convince anybody, by the way. You are all adults, and any young men that are listening, You come to your own conclusions. I'm presenting something. Search the scriptures. Obviously, that's the most important. And you come to your conclusions. One West doctrine has changed. That's what he says with what we teach now. They taught that the end of the world was going to be in 2000. They thought that the chip was going to be in 2019. They didn't teach this to the so-called Hispanics and Native Indians prior to, I forget his name, to be honest with you. And I guess I should know his name, but I don't know. Some people may be offended. I don't really honestly care, because the Most High is the one that basically decided who wakes up and who doesn't, with all due respect to any elder, right? That through him, the 12-tribe chart came about through a dream, right? Prior to, it was just so-called black people. That's what it says, right? That's what is being told. Because this doctrine does come from, has a heritage or a root of Marcus Garvey with that dude Matthew, which they used to practice Judaism, Jewish customs, and they started changing it. They learned it from that aspect. Also, King David was what? Masha? And then now you hear John the Baptist, Elijah, maybe Bishop Nathaniel. You know, and honestly, look, you hear these aged men, right? And as I said before, young men are supposed to follow the steps of their elders, right? And they're supposed to be a reflection of what their elders are. And I'm not knocking on anybody, but let me finish this real quick.
Men, if they saw a woman that they like, they can grab the woman up and rape the woman, man. and we're going to read the scriptures. We're going to read the scriptures, all right? Hell no, you didn't have no problem with that.
Years old. The Lord has a period. No, but that's not good law.
Well, let me say this. No, let me say this.
The Lord didn't have a problem with men raping a 12-year-old or any woman that they saw on sight.
The Lord didn't have a problem with it.
Why you David B?
But you know what you're thinking? See, you were brought up in this man's food system, so that's how you think. That's how you think. But back in the ancient world, if you saw...
Go ahead. Briefly, and I'm going to prove it later. There is no penis that is superior to the penis of the man from the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Your penis is the superior penis on this globe. That Puerto Rican penis is superior to an African's. That so-called Negro, your penis is superior to an African. The Mexican penis, the Guatemalan penis, the Haitian penis, the Panamanian penis, the West Indian penis is superior to the penises in Africa.
When I go up into ISUPK, when I open the door, Sonetta, first of all, it was musty. It was.
Oh, by the way, I almost forgot. And quite frankly, let me make sure that. Give me a second here, real quick. I almost forgot. Give me a second. All right. Again, let me read this real quick. This is copyright disclaimer, okay? And I apologize for this. YouTube, please do not block me, man. I make no money off of this. This content does not belong to Bible Chronicles, and it makes zero claim that it belongs to Bible Chronicles. The content in use solely belongs to the content owner. The owner of this content does not have any affiliation with Bible Chronicles. Bible Chronicles has zero intent of making financial use to gain for this material. However, under the Title 17 of United States copyright law, the material used can only be for the sole purpose of education, research, and critique. And thus, Bible Chronicles believes this use falls under fair use, which honors protection under the Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright law. Anyhow, and this is true, by the way. This is from my UIC, right? You know it's bad when Jabari clowns you. And by the way, I like this brother, to be quite frank, man. And the reason why is because I will always respect an individual that takes the time to study his subject. Study the subject and his subject, to be quite frank with you. I've seen this brother debate, and he'll actually read the source, right, as he's debating. So I know what he believes in. Is there a possibility that he may be an Israelite and my brother? Damn right there is. But is there a possibility that he's not? Damn right there is. And this is what this talk about is today, right, for this class. So let's continue.
musty. All I saw was
Africans. That so-called Negro, your penis is superior to an African. The Mexican penis, the Guatemalan penis, the Haitian penis, the Panamanian penis, the West Indian penis is superior to the penises in Africa.
when I go up into ISUPK, when I opened the door, Sonetta, first of all, it was musty. It was musty. All I saw was oiled brothers doing, half-naked brothers doing push-ups.
So, as I mentioned, right, elders, we read the scripture. Let's go to Titus. You know, I might go here, and y'all got to. Yeah, listen, I do want to say this, okay? The Bible, and you Northern Kingdom brothers and sisters, right? It's time that we start calling out the things that really are there, because honestly, it seems like Northern Kingdom is just sitting back watching this roller coaster of whatever we see. You know what, guys? It's our Bible too. Are you guys forgetting this? We need to study the scriptures because in it does say things. I got love for anybody that has love for me. I grew up in the hood and we had a variety of so-called nationalities. I had a so-called real good so-called Puerto Rican friend. He was one of my best friends. Obviously, I knew his family, and some of his family were so-called half black. They were tight. That was my family. Okay? This is not about color. But I want to point that out too, because within what I'm saying, there's also subliminal messages. And let's continue, because obviously the scriptures are going to speak for themselves. Titus 2, verse 6, because we just saw what aged men speak like within this. I'm going to, for the sake of being prudent, my brothers are acting this way, right? But at the same time, are they my brothers? It says, Titus 2:6, young men likewise exhort to be sober-minded. It says, young men likewise, meaning what? Like your elders, right? Like your elders, exhort to be sober-minded in all things, showing thyself a pattern of good works, in doctrine, showing uncorruption, gravity, sincerity, sound speech that cannot be condemned, that he that is of the contrary part may be ashamed, having no evil thing to say. Okay? So, as a matter of fact, you know what? For the sake of understanding this, I'm going to go to Titus. I'm going to use the Blues Letter Bible. Let's do that right now. Because, you know, and by the way, brothers and sisters, you are supposed to do this, man. You have to definitely use all the resources to understand the scripture, what it's saying. It says here, right? Okay, cool. It says, hold on, let me go to the top. It says, sound speech that cannot be condemned, that he that is of the contrary part may be ashamed, having no evil thing to say of you, right? So look what it says here. Sound speech that cannot be condemned, that one who is an opponent may be ashamed, having nothing evil to say of you. Teach the truth so that your teachers can't be criticized. Then those who oppose us will be ashamed and having nothing bad to say about us. Right? I think it's very clear what it's saying here.
Niggas ain't doing nothing, I thrive by. You niggas that get the bus and crack and gentrify. You niggas won't even touch them, get a little money, and your homies you saying fuck them. That's not true, nigga. Talking about what you do, nigga. Talking about how you move, nigga. That's not true, nigga. On the game, that ain't true, nigga. Talking about you be shooting, nigga. How you be sliding. On the game, you be lying. Talking about you be riding. Nigga, that ain't true, nigga. On the game, that ain't true, nigga. We know that ain't true, nigga. That's not true. We know that ain't true, nigga. Gonna hurt you, and it ain't no saving grace. We gon' burn them with the open flame. Yeah, we gon' cut them with the double-edged. We gon' chat them like the wine press. We gon' chat them like the wine press. Smash your teeth in your mouth, dash your head up on the stove. Ain't a reason you should live. Use a cancer to the core. Use a dancer, use a whore. Want to everyone and all. Every nation been involved in the vexing of the Lord. We gon' burn them with the open flame. We gon' cut them with the double-edged. We gon' treat them like the wine press. Yeah, we gon' treat them like the wine press.
You can't do 10, my nigga. Matter of fact, you can't do 1, my nigga. Let's see if you can stop eating pork. I see that pork juice running down your fork. Talk about you blessed in the streets of New York. I see that tight Christian 3-piece suit that you bought. When you gonna rock that? When you go to court? Maybe Sunday, better yet Easter. I blast at you masters. Knowledge reigns supreme over all you teachers. Pedophile supporters, cool rigor mortis. Your niggas out of order. When Christ returns, you hear the screams in the chorus. Now breathe.
Revelations 6 and 17. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be?
Oh, well, we just read Titus, right? Sound speech that cannot be condemned, that he that is of the contrary part, which is the enemy, may be ashamed, having no evil thing to say of you. I'll let the scriptures talk. Philippians 1 and 15. Brothers and sisters, this Bible is ours too, you know. And I'm going to tell you something. We need to pay attention to or dissect the actual spirit of Jacob, or the 12 tribes. Now, do I believe that it's a variety of colors? Yes, of course I do. But I don't know about a specific doctrine. We're going to continue. Philippians 1:15, it says, some indeed preach Christ even of envy and strife, and some of goodwill, right? Then it reads, one preach Christ of contention, not sincerely, supposing to add affliction to my bonds. I want to make sure that you guys understand what this means, okay? Think about this for a second. One preach Christ in contention, right? What's the word contention mean? Let's look it up. And again, brothers and sisters, you got to look up words. You got to understand. And when it comes to the Bible, and if you don't even like this translation, fine. Use the one you like, but look up the words. It's important. This is your book. This is our history. This is our knowledge. Y'all got to start realizing how important this book is, man. Y'all are kings and queens. Are we forgetting how great we were? In my other classes, I've showed you how when the Spaniards came, they were at awe of the foundation, structure, engineering, aqueducts, clean water, clean cities, herbs. Man, I'll do another class like that, man. It was amazing. You know what I mean? Let's not forget who we are. Because I'm going to tell you something real quick, and I'll say this. When I was in this particular camp, you know, I wasn't born here, right? I was born in Mexico. And I'll make this quick. So I have the culture. I still remember how it is over there, the Spanish speakers and family and the way things are. You know, it's just different. And I honestly always wanted to go back home, so to speak, right? The most I had other plans. And, you know, coming into this country, I never forgot that. And I know a lot of so-called Hispanics, not just so-called Mexicans, a lot of Hispanics, we relate to those things. That's why I married my wife, because we relate to those things, right? She's from over there, but we both came around the same time. So there's a lot of tradition that we remember, old songs in Spanish and conversations, you know what I'm saying? So now I come in the truth and it's like, yes, I'm an Israelite, all praises. And all of a sudden I feel like my spirit is being taken away from being taken into something that just doesn't seem right. So does that mean I'm not an Israelite? Because I didn't relate to any of this? I mean, hey, I love rap music, political rap music. It has nothing to do with what the white man calls tribal situations. It's a spiritual thing, brothers and sisters. And y'all need to start opening your minds up. And I hope somebody that's in one of those camps is listening to my class today. Let's continue. It says here, contention, right? The act or instance of striving in controversy or debate, striving to win in competition, right? The condition in which winning a competition is possible. So we know what it means. Obviously, there's no need to continue that. One preacheth Christ of contention, not sincerely, right? Supposing to add affliction to my bonds, right? So some preach the Yahushai with intent to what? Just to be the contrary to the other person. Not really that they really sincerely care about the word. And then Paul says, supposing to add affliction to my bonds. Why? Because Paul put a lot of brick in to wake up a lot of people. He talks about how he was a prisoner to the scriptures, supposing to add affliction to my bonds, meaning he's got to go push that again. Like when he comes back into, I forget what book, he comes back and says, man, do I have to come? Is it so new? I just left you in a sense, and you're already like confused by doctrine. It's the same concept, man. It's the same concept, okay? So I'm going somewhere with this. Because remember, guys, we've been through this already.
So you guys know you're going into slavery, right? You know you're going into slavery. Are y'all American citizens? Okay, y'all know about the return of America then, right? Y'all are going into slavery for enslaving so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right? That's what the Bible say, all right? So y'all can sit up here and listen. Y'all can take it as a joke, and guess what? All the atrocities that was done to our people, it's going to be done to you. Times two, all right? Just kept walking, man. And then when we saw him again, he gave respect and death to all you crackers, man. That's right. Right. Want to back your fucking head, man. Right. Oh, Andy Young. I want to take these babies and all you hurts, man. All you white devils. So all white people the devil, all right? That's right. You got white people, the most sides will put you on a damn workout plan, all right? That's right.
Put up themselves on Facebook under women's names. It'll be a man posing as a female.
Yes.
You know who you are. Posing as a female.
Yes.
The Conquistador doing that too. Posing as a female on Facebook and saying, yeah, I am IOIC, putting up incriminating pictures of us.
Right.
I am this, I am that. You think you slick? You know
okay. All of a sudden, these memes come up where everybody picture and stuff typed on it. You started that. We know who you are. You edited video to lie on me. That trend started by you. That's
the Weasel. The Weasel.
That's right. Okay, the Conquistador.
Yes. Wow. And guess what, Wetback? We know you who you are too. You ain't going to escape. God got your judgment for you because you.
Why'd you have to call me shit? Get over it, bro. No, I'm not gonna get over it. I would never call you guys any racial. We're having a conversation.
You called us black, what, about 15 minutes ago? And none of us up here black. So that's a racist remark.
That's racist.
Fucking on your ass.
You think calling someone black is the same as calling someone shit? Yes.
I'm not fucking black. Hey, your yellow ass. What's up? You fucking idiot.
It's over. That's what's up right there, bro.
All you so-called white people are racist, man. Right? It's coming out.
Right.
What you so-called white people say behind closed doors, it's coming out, man.
Because that's what we do. That's what you want to move us the fuck out. I bet you want to move us. I'm not trying to move. I swear to fuck you in my face, nigga. Why you in my face then, nigga?
Look, I want to be in your face, nigga.
Okay, so what we doing? What we doing? We wasting time or what? We finna speak. We finna teach.
I'm just saying,
we gonna be right here.
What is it about?
Nigga, you know what we about.
What is it about?
Keep asking me that. You know what we about, man.
What's it about?
What the fuck you mean? Alright, we out here to teach a 12.
Remember, 6:45, right? Now think about this for a moment. If let's say the shoes were in reverse, let's say the brother was in front of that, and they're talking about that, right? And Bishop Nathaniel is on the opposite end, and they're saying, "Oh, you mean the Canaanite? Yeah, the Canaanite, right? The Canaanite, yeah, the Canaanite." It's like, "Oh, you mean like that Bezaleel or Nathaniel? Oh, okay. You mean that nigger? Ah, that's what that sounds like. You know what I'm saying? We need to pay attention to what we say because it's also going to be written in our books. Luke 6:45. I'm going to get to the bend part. For out of the abundance of the heart, meaning mind, his mouth speaketh. So obviously, it doesn't matter who it is. I don't care. Look, I'm going to generalize this because that's the truth. If you're able to say that on the snap and you're an aged man, that means you've had some issues within yourself. I'll be frank with you. I'm going to tell y'all, Hispanics and Native Indians, right? And you so-called blacks. I do believe that a lot of our people, that we are the same people in a lot of ways, right? But I also believe that within, just like how we mixed, y'all mixed too. And I'm gonna show it. I'm gonna prove it. Which is why we need to be circumspect. So this has nothing to do with I'm taking sides. Look, I know for a fact who the so-called white man and our enemy is. But I also want to know one thing that is not being talked about: who the so-called Africans are. Why are they in Psalms 83? Why is it not being talked about? So we know, understand the scriptures talk about this is a spiritual war, a spiritual battle, right? And it says what? What else do we learn? What else have we learned? Let me go back to this real quick. We learned this too. 1 John 4:1. It says, beloved, believe not every spirit. See that? It says, beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirit. It says, but try the spirit whether they are of God. And I said before, I've been in particular rooms and I tried the spirit, and there was some brothers that I really do related to, and I miss those brothers. And quite frankly, it's not like I got kicked out or anything. But I find it interesting that prior to, we're all homies, we're all brothers. Yeah, man, I love you, brother. Yeah, you're my brother. You're my brother, bro. And then all of a sudden, I ain't going back because of particular things. Maybe we disagree on particular doctrine, slight ones, right? And all of a sudden, crickets, except one person. And all praises to the Most High, because I love that brother. He taught me a lot in the truth, and not in regards to scripture. I'm talking about in actions, because he was patient with me on how to deal with people, because I was not who I am today. All thanks to him. Hopefully he's listening to this class. Okay. 1 Timothy 4:1. Let me continue and hurry up. 1 Timothy 4:1. And it reads, now the Spirit speaketh expressly, that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. Remember how in Christianity, right? We saw the video initially. We saw how they really just destroyed our sisters, the so-called Hispanics and Native Indians, right? They really did. So again, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. Look, eventually, the Spirit beareth witness with our spirit that we're the children of God. And quite frankly, not everybody seemed to be like that to me. And you know what? Just like how they're quick to say the conquistador. Why? Because supposedly we look like the heathen. And later on, I'll touch it. But here's the interesting part. Out of their 18 nations that they created, the chart, or the 18 nations, right? All the other nations that are light-skinned, which we are included in, okay? And a good portion of them are Shemitic. Yet, and we look like them, so they say we mix with them. But yet, the African races, if you isolate them, they're like 4 of them, and so-called Judah looks like them. If we know that, just let me flip it on this other side. Etta James, Beyonce, Bob Marley. I'm going to keep it real. They give the essence of a so-called a black person, right? The music, the style, the hair, the talk, the way they look, the essence, okay? But guess what? Their fathers are white. I'm sure some of y'all knew about Bob Marley, but I don't know if you knew about Etta James or Beyonce. And I guess 4 years ago that came out. And she was having a hard time dealing with it, she said. W.E.B. Du Bois, Frederick Douglass, Booker T. Washington, all were famous so-called black men who, through their influence, were able to pass a lot of laws that helped or benefited the so-called black folks, right? Well, guess what? Their fathers are white too. All were famous black musicians and political powerful enough to help pass that. I mean, like, listen. We have to start wondering, are we all Israel? Because from what I'm going to show later on, y'all need to start rethinking that 18-nation chart. Seriously. And I'm going to get to it. But before I do, this is one of the things that I was really again disappointed, man, because I've never been a worshiper of men. I don't care to what level you expect that to be. I'll give you respect. I'll show you respect based on age. Even people now outside the truth. I had men, so-called Hispanic men, right? So-called Mexicans working on my yard. Family members are actually helping with my fence. He's an older guy, 62, 63. Try to talk to him a little bit about the truth, but he's a working man. Didn't really want to hear it. No problem, right? Bringing him water because I see him. We say don. Automatically respect, right? I'm not worshiping the guy. He is not my teacher, nor my dad. But out of respect. That's nothing bad. Okay? But this isn't all. Like I just happened to find this, and I wish I would have found other ones, but we've seen it with Yahweh ben Yahweh. We've seen it with the other brother that had this Hebrew Israelite. We've seen it with, like, all of a sudden, everybody agreed that King Mashai is King David. And now we're saying that, oh, yeah, Bishop Nathaniel, he's Elijah. Do you realize that when you start kind of thinking in those ways, your perception towards that individual changes? And now you can be close to what? Possibly doing this?
Well done. I look to the hill. Well done. I look to the hills where my help from. I just wanna hear, welcome, well done. I just wanna hear.
Let me show you something real quick. Worship. It says to honor or show reverence for as a divine being or supernatural power. He's Elijah. To regard with great and extravagant respect, honor, and devotion. We do know that in these Passovers or tabernacles, right? You can see that extravagant respect, right? But I find this to be very interesting. Now, if the scripture said that we're supposed to do that, by all means, I would do it. But it doesn't say that otherwise. It says otherwise, actually. It says, Revelation 19:10, it says, and I fell at his feet. This is John, right? And I fell at his feet, right? That's an angel. To worship him. To give honor, to give reverence, right? And he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Jesus, Yahushai. Worship God. Worship God. This is why the Most High said in Exodus 20:2. Let me just see that. I didn't even have, let me just go to it real quick. Exodus 20 and 4. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the waters or underneath, right? So keep in mind, I remember I asked my mom, because she's all into white Jesus. I was like, Mom, you got to get rid of that. You can't be praying to that. She goes, I don't pray to that. And quite frankly, she doesn't, because I know when she prays and she don't face it. But then I'm like, okay, so what do you think when you pray? What do you think of? Like, what do you think of God, or what do you have in your mind? And she's like, well, you think of that picture? She's like, well, yeah, that's exactly the point. So now you introduce a so-called black Jesus, which again, that's not a problem, man. But this now, for all you brothers and sisters, when you start praying, that picture comes to your mind. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image. Why? Because it's like a camera, guys. Our brain and our eyes work that way. The moment you take a snapshot, that memory stays in the back of your mind, like in your subconscious. You will never forget it. That's why it took a while to get rid of that white Jesus image, because sometimes it does end up happening, coming back. Oh, shit, get away. Sorry my language, but it's real. I'm keeping it real. Okay? So let me go back. Because honestly, when you talk about Revelation 19 and 10, because you also see, I mean, look, I'm not going to lie to you, man. I know they changed the image, but it kind of looks like him, man. Anyhow. Revelation 19:10, it says, and I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Jesus. Worship God. I think it makes perfect sense. I don't see that there's confusion into that, right? Now, I just want to add this real quick because it's important to point it out. It says in Matthew 23:5, but all their works they do for to be seen of men. The entrance. They mark broad their phylacteries and enlarge their borders of their garments. You've seen some outfits. And love the uppermost rooms at feasts. You know, they pay a lot of money on these particular Passovers, right? And I remember one particular guy, he was being carried in. I remember that. And the chief seats in the synagogue, and the greetings in the markets, and to be called of men, Rabbi, Rabbi. You know, that word right there caught my attention. And what does rabbi mean? Here, I'm going to look at it here. But I don't know. Master, teacher. A Jew qualified to expound and apply the halakha on the other Jewish law. Master or teacher. Are they not seeing this man, this bishop, as a master or teacher in the way they reverence him? I'm not lying, guys. Look, I'm not putting words in anybody's mouth. You could see it. Unless you're blind and unless you're just completely like lost in the sauce, we're adults here. Let's be real, man. It's like the Pope. Come on. It's almost the same. Okay? And I got one more thing. You know, this is what's really like, I think God is not the author of confusion. Neither are his scriptures, and neither is his words. But this made no sense.
29:32, and according to the term solemn assembly.
Right.
Yeah. Can you please clarify for us if they are all ISUPK are all wrong? ISUPK are wrong in dealing with the Passover?
Okay,
the music
I don't
and
know
all this
why anybody would believe that you're not supposed to celebrate during the Passover when it says it's a holy convocation. And what a holy convocation is a holy gathering. It means that people who believe in the Lord and are serious about the Lord come together as one, which is what we do. And it's ridiculous to think that you cannot drink.
The ISUPK, goddammit. The ISUPK, goddammit.
Most High in Christ, I'm here, I'm doing. Most High in Christ, I'm here, I'm doing.
I'm making sure everybody got the wine, they got their water, and they got their grape juice. Look, why do you want to stay in the world when you ain't getting no women like that?
Right.
You know what I mean? The women don't like you.
Right.
This
is why the scriptures say you got to test the spirit. Test the spirit if they're of God, which also means if they are of Israel. Because within Israel, there's not all Israel, right? And then just like the other nations, they try to be like us.
Right. You're sitting on the couch all day. You don't got a job, so you might as well come into the truth so that you can get some jobs and you can get a girl.
Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all who probably feel offended by what I'm saying, but you know what? The hell with that, man. Because I don't really know what the hell happened to Bezaleel or anybody. I don't know that story. I don't really care. If he is a wicked ass man, then the Most High is gonna punish him. But I'm gonna tell you something, man. In the truth or outside the truth, if somebody of another race is calling me, or supposedly they're my people, and they piss me off, I'm like literally keeping the commandments, and all of a sudden I say, "Damn Canaanite, what a damn nigger." You know what I'm saying? Y'all are forgetting, man. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm 45, right? I'm gonna be 46, and I know that in growing up as a teenager in the 80s or 90s, that'd be the last thing I would ever say. We would never even tell each other, "What's up, nigga? What's up?" Never, ever, ever, man. That's not how we rolled. If you try to do that to one of the veteranos around here or something like that, you get slapped in the face. Now the younger generation is okay to talk like that, and I don't understand why. Well, then again, I do. Let me continue.
All right? At least do that. All right? Under Commander General Yohana, you might as well come into the truth so that you can get some jobs and you can get a girl.
You feel me? Everything was glorious. If you didn't make it, you missed out. You feel me? Ain't no trying to make it up next year. This is one of one. You feel me? Shout out Commanding General Yohana.
Shout out Commander General Yohana.
General Muhammad.
Right.
All other generals, all the real, all the heavy hitters. All other generals, all the real, all the heavy hitters.
If you ain't in the ISUPK and you ain't smoking.
I'm pointing this out because of this, brothers and sisters, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. I love my family. I love having fun with my family, and give me a second here. Hold on. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot it. Give me a second. Give me a second, brothers. Anyways, a solemn, right? Solemn assembly. There it goes. Leviticus 23:36. My bad, guys. It reads real quick. 7 days shall ye offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord, and on the 8th day shall be a holy convocation unto you. I mean, separate, right? With your family. We mean not with the family, just your family, but with Israelites, right? And ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Yahweh. It is a solemn assembly. If you look up the word solemn, right? And you guys do it for yourselves. I don't want to waste too much time on that. But it really makes sense what it's saying. Now, obviously, it's because a lot of people died in the Exodus, okay? And they were tormented. If you leave Ezra, you're going to find out they were tormented. Now, they say, well, Hezekiah parted because it was such a long time they had a Passover. I understand that, but you know who else died in the Passover? There was judgment in every single, and almost twice in Passovers, right? Exodus, and then when Christ came. Christ died in Passover. That brother suffered. Our brother suffered. Spit on, pulled hair, treated like shit. His mother, his father, all of us who were there, maybe, we suffered seeing that too. Somebody, if you gotta get it, you get it. You don't, you don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, he suffered, man. So when it says a solemn feast, I'm reminded of Yahweh suffering. Yes, I'm gonna consider that solemn feast because it's a serious thing. Obviously, too, you know, you spend a good time with your family or your friends, cordial. But that right there, that's why I'm playing it, because it didn't make any sense to me. I'll play it again. I'll just shut up now and let it continue.
29:32, and according to the term solemn assembly.
Right.
Yeah. Can you please clarify for us if they are all ISUPK are all wrong? ISUPK are wrong in dealing with the Passover?
Okay,
the music
I don't
and all
know
this
why
stuff?
anybody would believe that you're not supposed to celebrate during the Passover when it says it's a holy convocation. And what a holy convocation is a holy gathering. It means that people who believe in the Lord and are serious about the Lord come together as one, which is what we do. And it's ridiculous to think that you cannot drink.
The ISUPK, goddammit. The ISUPK, goddammit.
Most High in Christ, I'm here and doing it. Most High in Christ, I'm here and doing it.
I'm making sure everybody got the wine, they got their water, and they got their grape juice. Look, why do you want to stay in the world when you ain't getting no women like that?
Right.
You know what I mean? The women don't like you.
Right.
Your feet stink.
Right.
You're sitting on the couch all day. You don't got a job, so you might as well come into the truth so that you can get some jobs and you can get a girl. All right? Please do that. All right? Under Commander General Yohana, you might as well come into the truth so that you can get some jobs and you can get a girl.
You feel me? Everything was glorious. If you didn't make it, you missed out. You feel me? Ain't no trying to make it up next year. This is one of one. You feel me? Shout out Commandant General Yohana.
Shout out Commander General Yohana.
General Muhammad.
Right.
All the generals, all the real, all the heavy hitters. All the generals, all the real, all the heavy hitters.
If you ain't in the ISUPK and you ain't smoking.
Here's a crazy thing, right? You know, they talk about the Passover being a solemn assembly, which it was, right? Baron Julia, how about you mash over your thought with water? We had a solemn assembly, and then we closed the solemn assembly, and then we had fun.
Y'all single? Y'all can have some too. Yeah, y'all single, right? Y'all single? Y'all single? Y'all be
Right? I mean, if somebody has a problem with that, they have a problem with the Bible.
The Bible, huh? Okay. Anyways, again, I want y'all to open up your spiritual eyes, brothers and sisters. You so-called Hispanics, you so-called Native Indians, and you so-called blacks. The ones that are our people. And when I say this, by the way, I know that you so-called Hispanics and Native Indians, I'm talking about the indigenous ones of the Americas, because I know that there's people like us that look like me, that breathe like me, that may even wear the soccer shirt and attend the boxing fights for, like, you know, the famous Mexican boxers, and like have all the support and eat tacos and talk like, hey, ¿qué onda, vato? You know, like you make like he's actually our people, but he's not. And that's not difficult for Northern Kingdom to do that. But one thing I want to point out is that we see a lot of this, they misunderstand, or no, they're teaching different doctrine. They called the other brother Bezalel, right, a conquistador because he didn't agree with them or because he's a snake, whatever it may be. And the other guy, right, they called him conquistador too. No, they called Bezalel wetbag, the other guy conquistador, okay? You keep that in mind because we look like the heathen. You see, I want to make sure that you guys understand what I'm talking about. There's a lot of struggle in the oppressive psychology that the white man put upon us to fight and finally be like, okay, I know who I am. Come into the truth, and you're like, okay, you're being humble. And then now you're being reminded. It's like eugenics, to be quite frank. Put it in perspective. Eugenics said that they're the top, the white man is the top of the totem pole. Then like whatever it is, and then the so-called blacks is on the bottom. Because they didn't evolve, right? But now the so-called black man, or Judah, Benjamin and Levi, right? This one West Camp doctrine, I should say. Now they're saying the opposite. And when you hear them say, you dirty ass white man, goat hair, look at your skin, yada, yada, yada. Well, guess what? My nephew, so-called Puerto Rican, right? Light-skinned nephew. He made a Esau girl, from what it seems like. So-called. His kids, he's got 2 daughters. Straight white skin, red hair. And guess what? Based on the scriptures, there are people. But as I mentioned, Etta James, Beyonce, Bob Marley, W.E. Du Bois, Booker T. Washington, Frederick Douglass, like those famous people, they're not so-called black. So if Esau infiltrated the so-called black man and woman, and they looked like them, What makes y'all think Canaans did not do that? Because Psalms 83 says it. I'll read it real quick because of this. I need to read it. Y'all need to see it. Y'all need to see it. Because you know what? Every One West camp breaks this down perfectly, but yet they always just say, oh, the Africans. Well, where the hell are they? Because I'm going to show you guys something real quick. Psalms 83, it says, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Okay? Now keep in mind, the tabernacle of Edom, Ishmaelite, Moab, Hagarenes, Ammon, Amalek, Gabal, Philistines, Tyre, Ashur. Philistines and Tyre are the so-called Africans. They have taken crafty counsel. Some camp try to say that, oh yeah, they're owners of big rig companies up in Africa. What a dummy. You know, you're so dumb. Excuse me who you are, and I forget who you are. I cannot remember where I saw it. But if you're offended, I apologize. But quite frankly, that's so stupid because those businesses, and they're white owned. And the puppeteering is the black man or African man. The white man is never going to let them above. Come on, bro. God. All for what? To fit a narrative? Keep the scriptures for what they are. All right? Let me read this again. 2 Corinthians 11:13. Let me hurry up and continue. Let's see. It says, for such are false prophets, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into the angel of light. Keep that in mind, brothers and sisters. Even Satan knows the scriptures, right? Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers or the teachers, right, of righteousness. Y'all know, y'all aren't going to play no games with me, right? I hope not. You One West camps, Deuteronomy 6:25, and it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before our Lord our God, before the Lord our God, as he had commanded us. So what is righteousness? The laws, statutes, and commandments of God. And here the scriptures are telling us what? 2 Corinthians 11:13, and it reads, for such are false prophets, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into apostles of Christ. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. We know the so-called white men never taught us the law, statutes, and commandments. They taught us philosophies of men. Don't worry about them. But it says here, therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness. So these men will be teaching us how to keep the laws. Right? Or am I seeing it wrong? Or am I bugged out, as they say? Or am I a conquistador? Or a wetbag? I'll say it for you guys before you see it, before you do it. I'm a wetbag. I'm a conquistador. I'm a damn Spaniard. I'm a spick. I'm a beaner. I'm a lord of the totem pole. Because you know what? Honestly, I know what my family went through. I know the curses that we lived, and I currently live them. And for any of y'all who know me, know what I'm talking about. And I have powerful faith in the Most High. Psalms 46:10. Be still. You know, I know why I'm reading this because after seeing all of this, right? After all of it not making sense, like the scriptures say, oppression make a wise man mad. Yeah, it also means with doctrines. I'm effing tired of this shit, man. Honestly. We're at the last end. And now we need to be circumspect. And this is what I'm talking about, that bitterness, right? The lack, just like the nasty ass part of wisdom. I'll go back to it real quick. I don't want to take too much time. Ecclesiastes 18. It says, for in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. This is sorrowful. But this topic has to be brought about because I'm seeing a spirit that I really don't comprehend. So if that does not make me an Israelite, then so be it. Honestly, man, I'm going to keep it real. But I'm going to keep the commandments of God. I'm going to tell you that right now because that seems right to my spirit. But since we question each other in regards to who we are of other nations, we see that other nations, they look just like us, sound like us, think like us, dress like us, act like us, like even sound like us in every single way, but they're not our people. How come this topic is not being touched? Why can't we say, you so-called black man, are you sure you're Jacob or are you a Canaanite? Now, I'm going to tell you this. ISUPK does bring it out often, but they generalize Africans or people they have it in front of them or in front of them. But they don't call each other Africans. Matter of fact, check this out. This is what bothers me too. There's a camp called FOPI, right? They're total hate. They hate brown people, man. The so-called Hispanics, Native Indians, Latinos, they hate. They call us beaners. They call us wetbags. They call us Mongols. You know what I'm saying? Heathens. Right? But yet I see every single camp call them brothers. Don't call them Canaanites, but we'll call us conquistadors because we disagree. This topic has to be brought about. This Bible is our Bible too. It's our heritage too. And I'm not about to lose it with the possibility that we're being misled by a nation that is not of us. Don't feel offended, so-called black man. Because you know what? My people, my so-called people, are confused too by people that look like us. And I had to swallow that pill like, man, damn. So he may not be. And you know what? The Spirit bears witness. A lot of them don't understand. We're going to have Israelites that are just not going to want to keep the commandments. But then there's some that you just know they're not Israel. They hate anything about brown skin or indigenousness. I'm just keeping it real, guys. If y'all get offended, if you misunderstand me, then you're not spiritually wise, because I'm bringing the matter to the table, and maybe some of y'all may understand and start listening to what the hell's going on. Proverbs 24. It reads, I went by the field of the slothful, and by the vineyard of the man void of understanding. And lo, it was all grown over the thorns, and nettles had covered the face thereof, and the stone wall thereof was broken down. Then I saw and considered it well. I looked upon it and received instructions. So this right here, Solomon, is what he's saying is he basically was walking by this house, for example, this building, and it was not taken care of, right? Excuse me. It was all full of thorns and nettles. So he saw it, he considered it, looked upon it, and received instructions. Why? Because when you're not disciplined, you don't keep the commandments, and you're just going by the air, that's what your life is going to be like, right? So I'm watching my Israelite brothers and sisters being either misled or being taught wrong, or maybe these elders, they are our people, and something's not right. Nehemiah 2:12. It reads, And I arose in the night, and I saw a few men with me, neither told any man what God had put in my heart to do at Jerusalem. And Jerusalem, this is a parable in a sense too. Well, not a parable, but remember, the scriptures are twofold. So in this case, you brothers and sisters are Jerusalem, okay? It says here, God had put in my heart, in my mind, to do at Jerusalem. Neither was there any beast with me, save the beast that I rode upon. God tells Nehemiah to go check out Jerusalem. I went out by night by the gate of the valley, even before the dragon well, and to the dung port, and viewed the walls of Jerusalem, which were broken down, and the gates thereof were consumed with fire. And I went on the gate of the fountain and to the king's pool, but there was no place for the beast that was under me to pass. Then I went up by the night by the brook, and viewed the wall, and turned back and entered the gate of the valley, and so returned. And the rulers knew not whether I went or what I did, neither had I as yet told it to the Jews, nor the priests, nor the nobles, nor to the rulers, nor to the rest that did the work. Then I said unto them, Ye see the distress that we are in, how Jerusalem lieth waste, and the gates, lying waste, right? Let me go. The rulers whether I went. Let me see. Verse 16. And the rulers knew not whether I went or what I did. Neither had as I yet told it to the Jews, nor to the priests, nor to the nobles, nor to the rulers, nor to the rest that did work. So as you can see, Nehemiah here, he went around and looked at how effed up, destroyed Jerusalem was. And this is how I'm seeing our people right now. I'm afraid. I don't want our people to be led into destruction. And I sure still don't want to cause division. I'm only bringing out things that I'm seeing. I don't want to cause division. I want our people to unite. But at the same time, just like we have infiltrators of other nations, and I keep seeing certain things that maybe they're not paying attention. Why is it I? Maybe I'm here to make you think, guys. Okay? Consider the state of mind of our people. You know what I mean? You gotta ask yourself. And this right here, this is what I'm talking about. I brought it up before. Let's see if I can grab it. This right here. Look. All right. So this is Israel. Number one. You have the white man. Number two, India, Assyria, Syria, Arabs, Chinese, Japanese. Then I'm going to skip all the way to Turkey, Russians, Greek, German, Spanish, Cyprus. So Turkey through Cyprus, white man through Japanese. You could say that the so-called Hispanic and Native Indians have a mixture of all of these things, right? Okay, fine. If we're the same people, fine. You say we're mixed with the other nations, fine. But then how in the hell does this even make sense? Ethiopians, Egyptians, North Africa, South Africans. The so-called Judah, the so-called black man looks like the Africans. But you're saying we mix with the other nations. So what are you saying? God is a Hamite? We got to ask. And you want to know something? The scriptures talk about not being simple-minded. Okay? It talks about that, not being simple-minded. And after some time, honestly, it's up to the Most High whether he shares information to us or not. Through reading and studying, you'll read a verse and you'll read it over and over, and sometimes you won't see it until maybe a year later. You'll see it as completely deeper than that. Proverbs 14:15, it reads, "The simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going." I'm looking well to my going. So let's explore this. But what I want to do is I want to use the Blue Letter Bible. Okay. So let's use the Blue Letter Bible so we can basically first get to the verse that I want to touch on. Genesis 2:7. Okay. And you guys know why. It says, "And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul." So I'll look through this here, as you can see what ground means, right? H127. It says ground, land, but at the same time, breadness. Then you see H119, right? First of all, let's hear this.
Strong's H127. Adamah. Adamah.
H119.
Strong's H119. Adam. Adam.
And it all is red, Rudy, red, dyed red, right? Red. You can see it. And then when you look at the actual, what do you call it? Adamah, right? So I went into the concordance because I have a concordance. And I have like an old book of concordance. I have the new one too, like the small one. But my wife found this one at a flea market. It was literally $2. She asked me, "Do you think you'll need this?" I said, "Hell yeah, grab it." And then I'll show you something in Who's Who, okay? Dictionary Zondervan Bible. Adamah. Red ground. Red ground, right? Let's not forget. Red ground. Red, and then the root word is red. Okay? Not black. And then when you actually look at the definition of Adamah, I never saw it. I never knew what that meant. So I looked it up. Just a simple Google. Man from the red earth. And it has Adamah baby namers, right? Which I'm going to bring something up in a little bit. Okay? So as you can see, it's watch this real quick here. Adamah, root, red ground. Red ground. We've been told that this scripture is all about black ground, black screen, black skin. I'm sorry, black. And we're heathens. But now that we look at this, it's not saying black. Okay. So now that we understand Genesis 2:7, now let's see what Genesis 2:19 says, because that's where you first hear the name Adam. And obviously Adamah, very close, right? Genesis 2:19, and out of the ground of the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam. H120.
Strong's H120. Adam.
We saw that one earlier as well. And look at this. The same root. Red, right? Red. And then Adam, as you can see, there's Rudy again. Rudy. All right. Now remember I told you guys who's who in the Bible? This is Adam, right? Who's who in the Bible? Watch what it says. Derived from the Hebrew word of earth, Adamah. The root of both words may be connected with the Hebrew word for red. That would imply a reddish soil or clay in the area where Adam was created. The belief that the first man was created out of clay was by no means confined to Hebrew mythology. Now, I've been using clay since I was 5 years old. I have no clue where this skill came from, man. It was just, again, regeneration. And, I'm very familiar with what clay looks like, right? So this is what clay looks like. And remember, let's keep in mind that hold on a second. Oh, there it goes. Give me a second. Let me look at this real quick. I'm gonna change something. All right, so as you can see, going back to my point here, right? Give me a second. So we have the soil, and we have clay. Right? You see that? Soil, clay. And then the who's who in the Bible says this. Clay, soil, clay, right? So I look up clay, and I'm not familiar with clay, and look, it's red. It's red. Look at the clay. It's red. Look at this clay. House is made out of clay. House is made out of clay. They're red. Red, like the dust of the ground, like the skin of the so-called Hispanic and Native Indian. And then I remembered this scripture. Since we're on this right here, I'll use it. Why not? But now, O Lord, thou art our Father, we are the clay, and thou our potter, and we are the work of thy hand. Here, fam, let me interject real quick. I want to show you this real quick. All right. I have it up already. Not that. Oh, this right. So Adamah is Adami. Now you don't find Adamah or Adam. I mean, you don't find Adami in a newer map, but you find Adam. You don't find Adami in a newer map, but you find it in an old map. You see Naphtali, Adami. So I'm gonna tell you this. You have to be by a riverbank, okay, not too close to the waters, in order for you to have clay. And the only place you kind of find clay, and the only color clay is red, or unless you dye or bleach it, which is gray. I mean, no, you can find gray clay too. Not necessarily bleach it, but you will never find black clay. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Adami, right here, family. Look how close it is to the riverbanks. And it's in where? Naphtali. And Adama is basically in Naphtali, which is basically Adami. And that's why I wanted to just show you guys. Watch what I continue sharing. Right? Oh, and check this out. The dictionary Bible, same thing, right? Read or made, Adam. I don't know if you're going to try to dispute this. You know? Now, I know that Esau is not Adam. And we know for a fact Yahushua is not a white man. So before I get any questions about red, are you trying to say that Adam is a white man? No, not at all. Because if you go to Genesis 25:25, look, it says, and the first came out red. So you think bread, right? Same concordance. And it's not. It's H132. And H132.
Strong's H132. Admoni.
So you see, Admoni has the root word of red, right? But this right here doesn't mean that necessarily. If you see rude, red, right? And it says here, reddish of the hair. The hair. And if y'all want to try to say that I'm lying, right? That give me a second. Right? Then you're debunking this, and you should never use this again. Then you should never. This is one West Camp. You should never use this. Esau, hairy. So in a nutshell, what it's basically saying is what? That Esau had red hair, and he wasn't black. Or that Esau had red hair, and he necessarily wasn't a brother of a black man. It seems like he had reddish tone, but he was hairy and red hair. Now, because of this, then I started really looking into, well, what else have I been lied about? What else am I going to question? Basically, I started questioning several things that were taught to me. Because, there was a lot that was said in these rooms. A lot was said in these rooms. And I believed a lot of it. And one of them is this one. And honestly, it really pissed me off after I found out of like the biggest lie that you could possibly think about. Because again, you need to disclose everything you find. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're trying to bring the truth to people. So they use this here. This is IUIC. Okay, family, this is it. This is the part that I want to show you. And I'll praise this to the brother. Israelita somos. Here goes. Watch out. Let me show you something real quick, okay? Because watch what he does. The brother sends me a message and he says this. He says, I did a class on this, by the way, and I didn't know how he would respond to my statement. But you know what, man? What a brother, bro. He literally said, here you go. Here's what I got for you. He says, amigo, esta explicación tiene algunos versículos bíblicos, organic joint, where you at? Here goes right here. It says here, I saw your video, this one. It says your video at 125:29, you showed an African map, which Black Hebrew Israelites, IUIC, likes to use, where it shows Black Jews in Africa. I wanted to share some information regarding that map. IRC is lying and spreading false information about the map. That comes from this book, The Lost Tribes of a Myth by Alan Howard Godby. Okay, now, here goes, family. Here's the link right here. I'm going to post it right here on this link right there. Boom. Y'all can get it. Please get it. Download it. Make sure you get it from archives.org. I don't know if you can download it, right? But he's explaining that between page 204 and 256, it actually gives us a quick understanding, like all of this right here, right? It starts explaining the so-called myth. It's called the Lost Tribe myth. The Lost Tribe myth. Let me borrow it again. Okay? The Lost Tribes, a myth. Suggestions towards rewriting Hebrew history. Okay? So you can see here, it says here the status of deported Israelites, page 204. Where are you at? So we know that this brother's studious. He reads thoroughly. That's why he was able to find it. All praises, bro. I've been looking for this book for some time, fam, and I just couldn't do it. But all praises. That's why when I had asked him, hey, listen, bro, you know what I mean? We need your help. And you know what? He came to the rescue. Berbers, Moors, and Negro Jews. You can read this book on your own. It's basically from 204 to 256. Dissect it all you want, family. You know what I mean? I'm going to go through it myself, but I already know a lot of what it's saying. At the end of the day, when you get to page 254, then you'll see this right here. Bam. Look at this. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you something right here, right now, because that's not what they show you. They don't show you that part. No, no, no. What page am I on this one? Let's see. Let me see this real quick. Persian Gulf. Give me a second. All right, so I know that it's on 254. Hold on. Bear with my friends. Bear with me, my friends. There it goes right here. Bam! Look at this. All right, so they didn't show me this big book. They just showed us this right here, family. This is how deceptive they are. So now, let me continue reading. He says, chapter, Berbers, Moors, Negro Jews, the map of Jewish communities in Africa, page 256 and 257, right? Then it says chapter 10, page 246, says the following. These facts have a particular significance when the presence of Judaism among American Negroes is to be considered. Hundreds of thousands of slaves were brought to America from this Western African during the days of the traffic beginning nearly 400 years ago. How much more of the Judaism survived among the West African Negroes in the earlier time? It may be considered certain that many partially Judaized Negroes were among the slaves brought to America. Let me read that again. It may be considered certain that many partially Judaized Negroes were among the slaves brought to America, meaning that you guys were not the real Jews of the Bible. The adopt the custom, belief, and character of a Jew. Page 256. All praises again, Israelita. This 256. This cases of proselyting among American Negroes are submitted without criticism. Their significance has already been stated. They show what was already possible in Africa. They prove what has been done through centuries after centuries. 256 pretty much sums up everything, and it makes clear what the African map is actually showing. It is showing African communities who converted to Judaism and were practicing Jewish customs, proselyte converts. Family, you need to read the book here, which is what I was saying, because when you look at this map, IUIC, Nate the Snake, yeah, I'm talking to you. You never show this here. You too, Ithon, you go to Africa and you show this to Africans, but you hide it from us? Why? Why do you hide this from us? Knowing that it says right in the middle, Libyan dynasty. And then when Nate the Snake wants to show this, oh, yeah, look, it's over here, look. And he ignores this part. But then he goes and reads to you, idiots, who fall for this crap, you silly doves. The compilers of Genesis 10:14 knew that the Philistines, and hold on, let me go over here real quick. Watch this. Doom. Watch this. Doom. The compilers of Genesis 10:14 knew that the Philistines and the other Creatines were in oasis strongholds, meaning Kedar, Dashim, or Tahim, equator, controlled by Egypt, meaning the equator. Okay, it says here, Cashalum of that which came from Philistines and Catharim. It is not possible in so small a map to show all the surviving Philistine communities. Family, I don't even know what to tell you at this point, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you this now. Philistine communities. Let me go here real quick. Let me get out of this. Make sure. Hold on a second, family. Boom. Philistine communities. Here we go, fam. Here we go. Philistine communities. Who are the Philistines? Who are the Philistines? Well, we're going to read it right here from a black man himself. Leo Africanus was born in 14, I believe, 80 or 90 or 60, one of those years. My apologies if I don't know it thoroughly. But look at him. He is a black man. He was not a white man. Okay? And this is what he said. And I quote, give me a second. Watch this, watch this, watch this. Here we go. Here we go. Watch one. Give me a second, family. Let me find it real quick. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Come on. There we go. You're getting close now. All right. So we're not looking at that one. We're looking at Leo Africanus. Give me a second. Here it goes, right here. This is from Leo Africanus, page 6, I believe, of chapter. I have the book. Where did I put it? You know what, fam? I have so many things storing right now. I don't know if I have the book here with me. Maybe I do. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Oh, praise to the Most High God. All right. It's on page 6, I believe. But it's not like on page 6. It's like chapter 1, 2, 3. It's weird, man. It goes to like page 40, and then it starts again. So I think this is chapter 2, okay? On page 6 of chapter 2, if I'm not mistaken. And it reads, for all the Negroes or blackamoors take the descent from Cush, the son of Cam, or Ham, who was the son of Noah. But whatsoever difference between the Negroes and the Tawny Moors, certain it is that they had all one beginning, one beginning, one root, one father, one progenitor. For the Negroes, you so-called black man of African descent, who does not subscribe to being Hispanic, who believes that you're an African-American man, and you know that your fathers and your forefathers have always been African, okay? For the Negroes are descendants of the Philistines, and the Philistines of Mesraim. Now, you black folks are of our gente that mix with them, but know for a fact that you are of this continent, at least because you're here right now. Guess what? I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to them. Negroes are descendants of the Philistines of the Mesraims, the son of Cush. But the Tawny Moors fetched their pedigree from the Sabians, and it is evident that Saba was begotten of Ramah, which was the eldest son of Cush. Diverse other opinions there be as touching this matter, which because they seem not so necessary, we have purposely omitted. So anyhow, let me go ahead and continue what we were sharing here, because again, I gave you guys a link. Let me put it again. Here's a link one more time. See, Japhet is the progenitor of the white people. Shem is the progenitor of the red round. Orlando, I don't agree or disagree with you so much in regards to the JPIT part, man, because, I came out of One West, bro. So I'm not going to say, nah. You may be right. You may be right. So let me agree for today to disagree, or disagree to agree. How about we do that for today? Because that is definitely a topic that needs to be said, especially now that we know One West has been digging deep at the white man. Yet we know that they mixed with them for quite some time. So why are they doing that? And why are they hiding this? Why did they hide this from us? Why? I mean, my question is why? And why do you use a book and not tell us where you got it from? Family, I was with IUIC 4 years, a little bit more than 4 years. Not one time did they give me this book. I asked for this book so many times. I said, hey, can you guys give me the reference of the map? Can you guys give me the reference of the map? Oh, yeah. We'll get to it. And not one time, fam. Not one time could they tell me the reference of the map, where they got it from, how come. But yet, we see other particular areas, right? Where are you? Let's see. Where is this at? Iranian Jews on the middle, the Bower. Greek-speaking Jews on North Black Sea of the Persian period. Hittites, Midians, city of Medes, Persia. You can see here Solomon's horse buyer. This is right here. Look, I guess this is Israel. And if you look at Israel and you go over this way, man, I hope they have that map here. Yeah, I think this is part of the map. Look, Artaxerxes, Ochus, 359 to 330 CBC, Palestine plays Jews on Caspian coast, I guess. Look at this, man. All praises to you, brother, man. I'm gonna dissect this more and more because the map that I have, this one here, family. Watch this. I'm gonna show you. It shows that there are many, and again, man, I'm not trying to lean towards anything. All I'm going is for history, and history leading me to like, hey, something's been lied. They've been lying to us. Why are they lying to us, family? You know what I'm saying? I mean, if they're about trying to wake up all the 12 tribes of Israel and they say that we all scattered everywhere, why don't they say or ever share this part of that map? Where are you? I passed you up. Keeps passing me by. Oh, here it goes. Hold on. Hold on. Where are you, man? Why do you always disappear when I need you the most? This is the one thing I dislike. You see, they showed us this map here, and you see this guy. He's in Africa. Israel United in Christ visits Nigeria. But you are clearly showing what the map says there, but not to us. Not to us, fam. Not to us. And here in the bottom, oh, no, you already read that too. I don't need to show you that. Where are you? Man, this is what, excuse me, this is really making me mad. I need to start, man, I wish, if Facebook could just file these things, that we're allowed to provide files so then we could just click on it. Because this is really like annoying, dude. Oh my dear God. I probably passed it too. Like a dummy. Let's see. Come on, hurry up. I hate to wait like this. Here goes. See, I knew I passed it. How come they never gave us this map? This map is all over their area. Israel, Arabia, Persia, India, China, Asia, Mongolia. And you guys realize that there's so many synagogues there? They had so many synagogues there, man. It's not even funny, fam. But you don't find any synagogues in Africa. None whatsoever. So now let me look at this map even more. See if we could find another map. You guys can explore it. By all means, please do if you guys are already looking through it. Here it goes right here. Watch this, family. This is from that map. Look at this. You do see synagogues here. Why didn't they show us this? Look, Beni Israel, black Jews. Why didn't they show us that? Beni Israel, black Jews in India. Look. Watch this. Chinese Jews, old synagogue records. What? Chinese synagogues? There's synagogues over there? Yes, sir. Hangzhou synagogues. Massacre, great massacre of Jews. Synagogues. Survival of Norman. Genghis Khan had a Jewish Mongol troop. Mongol Jews persecuted by Christians. What else is here? Hindu Kush, Ephrathite, Jewish corpse. You look through this map and you're going to find out that there's more proof that there's actual people here that do keep the laws and have actual synagogues than in Africa. And that's why that book I brought out to you guys, the description of the Indies of 1620, how it says that more likely we, the 10 tribes, migrated this route because in this section of the world, they were keeping the laws of God in India and in Asia. If you guys go through the description of the Indies of 1620, you guys should remember that I showed you that. Look at this right here. Despite the ruins of every providence and massacre of Jews and civil wars that began in 1854 AD, Solomon of Andalusia, 8875 or 900 AD, found Jewish communities in all large cities in China, able to speak Hebrew. Why not bring this out, IUIC? Why hide this from us? I mean, honestly, if you're saying you're about all the tribes of Israel, why ignore this? Why? Because this shows that these are more Jews than the ones in Africa. Because you have no synagogues over there. And all of them are Philistines. Family, y'all can look through this, man. Y'all can look through this map. This book here is a plethora of knowledge. This book here debunks IUIC stupidity with that map being about supposedly our people. No, my friends. Your game is over. I appreciate you, Israelita, very much, brother. I really sincerely do, bro. Let me read this real quick. Hold on. Let me check it out real quick. Check it out. Shem is the progenitor of all. Yeah, I have a book called The Great Migration, and it says that, bro. So that's why I'm not disagreeing with you just yet. We got to consider this. Let's see. The Spaniards were of mixed race because they were mixed 70. But yeah, that's for sure. They were since 700 AD. They were actually conquered by the Africans. Let's see. Actually, the Spaniards were mixed with Shem's lineage. Joktan descendants mixed with the. Yeah, I think so. And yes, the Mongolians and the Indians of Asia from Joktan descendants. That's right, man. That's right. And that's, you know what? Matter of fact, let me see if I could show you I got the book. Because I mean, I need to show you the book. Hold on. Let me see. Where are you? Let me find it real quick. Man, I might have had it. Maybe I don't. Oh, shoot. Come on. Where did I put it? The description of the West Indies. Oh, I know where. Okay, I might have put it in my actual website here. Hold up. Not my website. You know what? That's a good idea. Watch this real quick, fam. Let's see. Here it goes right here, man. This is from the West Indies, right? 1620. The description of the West Indies. We see goes right here, bro. Here goes number 54. You can read 54, but read 55. It says Ezra said that and it's a thick book, right? So it's like 1,000 pages or 1,500 pages, but it is numbered. So watch what it says in number 55. Ezra says that at the close of this extended journey, they colonized and lived in that region, which is called Arsarit. That very learned Arthur Genebrard, in book 1 of his chronology, states that Arsarit is the extreme point of Great Tartary or Scythia, that it is a cape or promontory, which is the boundary and landmark dividing the old world from the new world, meaning over there in Russia and Alaska, okay? And that area, which they used to call the Bering Strait, is actually called this, above the Straits of Anian, and near where they crossed from that country to the New Spain, meaning that we migrated from that section, stopped at Russia, and jumped over to these lands over here, okay? And it says, so they could have gone by that route. Which route? By India and China. So they could have gone up northern part, like north part, or they could have gone through China and India. But why? Since there, meaning through China and India, in the region of Katai, the people inhabiting that country kept the Old Testament and the law of Moses, although with many superstitions besides, which is true. We tend to do that stupidity. This is a full and sufficient proof that the members of the 10 tribes passed through there and settled there, since that it is clear that their observation of the law, and from there they could easily cross the straits or channels which lie between China and the kingdom of Anian, meaning over there in Russia, and may have been on the globes or maps. And from the kingdom of Anian, they went on exploring, meaning in Americas, and colonizing those countries of the new world never before seen or settled by human beings. And I don't mean, well, yeah, I mean frijoles, us. You know what I'm saying? And I mean that in a loving joke, fam. Let me see if I can go ahead and go through this book one time, just to make sure we don't miss anything. We go back to class, because I'm going to explain something to you guys real here. But this book, family, I want to tell y'all, this brother right here, y'all need to subscribe to his channel. He's got a lot of people, bro. And I am not envious of him whatsoever, man. My little 125 don't mean nothing to his 25K. But you know what? At least you can see
the humility in that brother that takes even time to look at my little small channel, bro. So all praises to you, man. Anyhow, so there's nothing in the book just yet. I'm going to continue to explore it. You know, damn well I'm going to do a class on this even more. But I appreciate you, brother, man. Let me now continue with this, and then we can go further into more knowledge. All right, let's go. All right, they use this, and I'm going to call them out. They use this to show us that the so-called Africans were in here, that after 70 AD, they all scattered here in this place, right? So as you can see, it's not really clear to us. Now, I had requested this, and I never got it from them. So this map, these things I found outside once I had left, okay? So as you can see, there's not much to see, but you trust these men to tell you the truth, right? You can't see shit. Well, you know, as time went on, I kept looking for it, and eventually I found it. So let me show you something, okay? So that right there. See, I found the map, fam. I found the map, but I did not find the book. So I want to let y'all know that for a fact. I'm not taking any credit at all, because that brother knows his stuff when it comes to finding. I mean, I got a lot of books, fam, and I can find stuff, but dude, he's able to find stuff, and all praises, man. Let's help each other out. Let's go. It's a little bit better. So I'm like, okay, it got a little bit better. And then I saw something in the middle. This. And I couldn't really see it. It said Libinier. That looks okay. So then watch this. And all praises to the Most High. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me save that one because I'm going to mention something real quick. So that same map, right, that you couldn't see before is not visible, right? All right. So I couldn't really find it when I was with them, but then I found it outside. So I also found that this map has this written on the side, okay? And I found this like on the other map, right? And it was clear. It says Jewish Kingdom of Granada, 300 AD, by white Libyans. Berbers, white Libyans. And you could see, keep reading, Jews, Jewish. And you know damn well that One West Camp says Jewish. Look at this. Hebrewisms in Africa. That's an actual book, which I'm going to look for it. Hebrewisms in Africa. Meaning what? Ism. Not like ish. Not the actual thing, but like it. Okay? So then, honestly, then I started really being curious because I couldn't see that. And then I found this. First of all, this. White Libyans. It's right there. Right? Of Jewish influence. The name suggests Yemenite Jewish influence. Yemenite Jewish influence. Right? So then now I'm intrigued. I finally find it. And then I found this. And this is going to blow your minds. Let me show you. Remember it says this? Can't see anything, right? And this is what they showed us. Watch. The Minuan Philistines. The compilers of Genesis 10:14 knew that Philistine and other Cretans were in oasis strongholds controlled by Egypt. Calcium out of which came Philistine and Caphtorim. It is not possible on so small a map to show all the surviving Philistine communities in red. In red. So it's basically saying that these are communities that were influenced by Judaism. But a lot of them are what? Well, what does Philistine mean? Let's find out. Philistine. A revised version, Genesis 10:14, right? And Pathrusim and Casluhim, out of whom came Philistim. Read up verse 6 and watch. And the sons of Ham, all of these. And it keeps going. But right there. So based on this, these people are not the real Israelites. So, as you can see, it begs me to question even more, right? Then I go to this. Watch this real quick. Let me see this. Give me a second, guys. Give me a quick second, okay? Sorry, guys. I heard noise, and it was my dog. Okay, so obviously it's late, and I didn't know what was going on. Anyhow, where was I? Oh, yeah. So then, like I said, I had to go back to the thoughts again. I had to go back to everything they taught me. Then I find this, right? Remember this earlier? Tomb of Reckmeyer. That these were Jews, right? They said that they were Jews. I believed it. That's a lie too. This is in around 1300 BC, right? Late 1400, like 1440 or mid. And the chronology doesn't match. So as you see, they're studying these things and they're finding out that that's not the right time. You can see here. Well, look what it says. Very simple. And I'm going to take you somewhere else. It says the necessity of revising the standard secular chronology of Egypt is widely accepted, but the efforts to achieve this so far has been inadequate. By recognizing Joseph of the Bible as the famous Imhotep of the Egyptian history, the 12th dynasty Amenemhat IV as the pharaoh of the Exodus, a drastic shortening and rearranging of the 3rd to 12th dynasties is indicated, making the chronology of Egypt accord with that of the Bible. Okay? So, and quite frankly, why didn't they bring that up? Why has IUIC, GMS, I don't know, Sakari, and I don't know if ISUPK does use this, but I know those three have said these are Israelites, just like the people in Europe. That's another topic. And that's a lie. Look at this. I read this, but what stood out this year, right here. The 11th dynasty, right, in 12, had rich and powerful pharaohs in the first half of the second millennium. Corville identified Joseph as the vizier Mentuhotep, attested under Sesostris first, earlier in the 12th dynasty. You guys read this, and he basically had an impressive run as a vizier because he helped them a lot. And we know from Joseph, he did a lot. He warned them about plagues and things of that nature for 7 years, right? And you can see that here, they actually wrote about that. So these so-called Israelites, they are nothing but damn Canaanites. So why did IUIC... You know what? I mean, it's clear, guys. That's who I was with. I mean, why am I going to start the, why am I going to BS you guys? And I have no gripe against them or anything, man. You know what I'm saying? What I'm bothered by is the lies. The lies. Why? Why try to fit a narrative? You know, like, I don't, look, listen, it's not like I mentioned before, it's not about color. I don't care, man. If that's who we are, then that's who we are. That's who we are. But this agenda of a lie, you got black folks who may be our people and who may not be our people, right? Saying that this is the Israelites. And there are people really believing it. And it's not the timeline. It's not the timeline. Like, and it says here, watch, what's this one, right? I think it's this one. Let me see. So it's watch. I'm going to bring this up. I forgot to mention this. It says here, all the pyramids and tombs of the 12th dynasty are counted for, except those of the final two rulers, Amenemhes the fourth and Sobektahop the first. Okay. So why did I bring that up? Because look at this. Encyclopedia, right? The same guy, under his power of the dynasty decline, and his successor, a woman, Sebenekfor, was last of her family. They didn't find this guy. No tomb, nothing. Why? Because he was in the sea. And that timeline is not in the 18th dynasty, is the 12th. Meaning what? 400 or 500 years prior to that picture. So I gotta ask, what more have they lied about? Or are they really Israel? And if they're not, are they Esau? And if they're not, are they Canaan? Because I've showed you guys that the spirit bears witness with our spirit, and it just doesn't seem, something's not right. Something's not right. Zechariah 14:21. I'm almost done. It reads, Yea, every part in Jerusalem and in Judah shall be holiness unto the Lord of the host. And all they that sacrifice shall come and take of them, and see it therein. And in that day shall there be no more the Canaanite in the house of Yahweh of hosts. Judges 3:1. Now these are the nations which the Lord left. Remember, you know that the Torah is a past, present, and future. It repeats itself. These are the nations which the Lord left to prove Israel by them, even as many of Israel as had not known them all wars of Canaan, only that the generations of the children of Israel might know to teach them war. Physical war? Not now. Spiritual war? Yeah. So are we getting an example of what we need to do? How we need to go about? Are they basically... Look, it's in. You got to question the spirit, man. It's about time. The times are at the end. We need to be very circumspect. It says here, namely 5 lords of the Philistines and all the Canaanites and the Sidonians and the Hivites that dwell in the Mount Lebanon, and from Mount Bel-Hamor to the entering of Hamath. This is never touched. The One West Camp never wants to talk about this. And then all of a sudden, I end up finding out about this scripture, Ezekiel 28. Watch what it says, right? Ezekiel 28:2. Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus say the Yahweh, because thine heart is lifted up. Remember, Tyrus, right? The Africans. Thou hast said, I am God. I sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the seas. Yet thou art a man and not God, though thou set thine heart as the heart of God. So then One West Camp, IUIC, One West Camp, basically GMS2, they all, well, as far as I understand, Sakari, I think too. Yeah, Sakari too. They say that this is Esau because of this particular part. Because supposedly he has that spirit. But you know what I find so interesting? If that's the case, when you read Ezekiel, it's actually breaking down like the nations that have prophecy against them. And in this chapter, 3 chapters before, it is identifying Edom. Thus say the Lord Yahweh, because that Edom had dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance and had greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. And you could see the actual vengeance upon Edom. You see it. Why am I doing this? It's time for y'all to think. You know, the kingdom brothers and sisters, you indigenous brothers and sisters, I got mad love for you, man. And you so-called blacks also, who are our people. I got mad love for you too. But I know damn well that if some of our people are white or Esau, then some of our people are also Canaanites. And y'all need to start waking up between each other too. I'm literally seeing it, man. Fopi calls us out like we're a piece of shit. And y'all still call them brothers. Bezalel supposedly, I don't know, took money or I don't even know what, and he's a conquistador. Make it make sense. Ephesians 5:12, I'm almost done. 5:15, I'm sorry. It says here, see then ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. Redeeming the time. Remember, redeeming means You got to turn in that ticket, man, to get into the kingdom. We got that covenant we owe. Redeeming the time because the days are evil. We need to be circumspect no matter what the hell happens. This is why I love this scripture right here. Job 8:8, and it reads, For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to search of thy fathers. Prepare thyself to search of thy fathers, right? So let us remind ourselves of who our fathers are. Let's remind ourselves of who the hell are the so-called Hispanics. What did we believe in? Did we know who we were at one point? Watch this. This is from the Gazetteer of the Old and New, page 67. I'll start at number 2. This is regarding all the tribes of Israel. It says here, those are the 10 tribes which they were carried away prisoners out of the land, out of their own land in the time of Hosea. Okay? This is what they're actually saying. Watch this. The Indians, the natives, our people, us, you Hispanic, you Native Indian, they used circumcision. They expected a Messiah. Many words connected with the celebration of the religious rites were obviously of Hebrew extraction. The resemblance which many of the ceremonies and rites of the Indians bear the Jews. The similitude which existed between the Indians and the Hebrews' moral law. The knowledge which the Mexicans and Peruvian traditions supplied, that in the Indian possessed the history contained in the Pentateuch. By the way, those are both of my actual people. In regards to tribe. The Mexican traditions of the Teomotli, the divine book of Moses, I made that clear. The famous migration, the trace of Jewish history, the frequency of sacrifice, right? The Mexican paintings, watch this. The blood of the fat, the styles of architecture of the temples, the fringes which the Mexicans wear, the similarity in the manner and customs of the Indian tribes far removed from far. Watch this too. Their eyes are black. They reckon by moons. They offer the first fruits. They have a feast or tabernacle. By the way, these guys didn't have a calendar. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So how do you think they kept Sabbath? How do you think they found out about the months? Friday to Saturday, Sabbath is a fluke. If y'all offended, too bad. So as you can see, this is who we are. Let's go back to who we are. Watch this. I found this book. This is an amazing book, and quite frankly, I'm excited to share it with y'all. The Great Migration, page 28. When he first went to Mexico, and after he had been for some time studying the archaeology of the country, he wrote, the ruins in this country prove that Moctezuma's ancestors might have dwelt in the banks of the Nile. Aguanile. If you get it, you get it. You don't, you don't. Watch this. Same book, page 60. Let us now consider the names and legends of ancient America, which are similar to those in the Hebrew record. In the high regions running along the West America, from Peru to Alaska, and dotted in the lower line. Hold on a second. And dotted in lower lying lands on the east of the mountains, we find proof that the existence of primitive races who held traditions and legends very similar to, and in some cases identical, those in the Hebrew records. The authentic proof of the statement are so numerous that they could not all be brought within the compass of this small work, but a few of the striking will be sufficient to convince any unprejudiced and candid inquirer. Page 63. I'm going to go fast. They basically, watch this. The Indians use the word hallelujah. They have a sacred ark which they always keep covered. Yahweh. So that crap that the One West came up with, that word Yahweh or Yahweh, that's BS, man. Y'all need to keep it real. I don't know why you have to do that. It says here, he noted their favorite expression, Mashiach, right? Mashiach, Messiah, Shiloh, Yahweh, Yehoshua, Hamashiach, Wamishia, and Shiloh Yo, Shiloh Ye, Shiloh Wa, Shalom, right? And then it says, look, these two words are not only Hebrew, Mashiach and Shiloh, but they are found to be only in the connection with the most ancient Hebrew legends and primarily in the book of Genesis. One thing I'm also interested in is Mashiach, I guess is in Arabic. You guys get it? You don't? You don't. Let me continue. Page 86. The legend of the book of Genesis mentions three great families of the human race, Shem, Ham, and the... hold on. and the black people, Japhet, the white, and Shem of Shem. I don't agree with that part. The people who claim to kept the records of their descents from the ancestors whom they named Adam, Edom, the red man.
Okay, this one's for Gabby.
It says you're red man too, right? Here, let me use carefully note that that Sem was the father of all the children of Eber, that is of the Hebrew. We find this name, red man, Adam, Adamah, clay. We can learn from these records that the most ancient Egyptians did not all like this red man. You see that? Let me continue. It will be conceded that our American colonists in the middle of the 17th century, and especially as the statute of practical Quaker pen, were shrewd, clear-headed men, not of some sort given to romance and with little time on their hands to indulge in visionary theories or to dream dreams. I'm going to say this real quick, man. The scriptures talk about the study of the word daily. Okay? I have a family. I'm the sole provider. I run a so-called business or department. And I study the Bible. I don't socialize around where I live. I don't have any so-called friends. I make time to study the scriptures. I don't have a lot of time in my hands. In a letter written by William Penn, dated 14th, let's see if this makes sense. As the origin of these Indians, I am ready to believe that them to be of Jewish race. I mean, of the stock of the 10 tribes. I find them to be like of, countenance, and their children of so lively a resemblance that a man would think himself in Duke Place. This is not all. They agree in rites reckoned by moons. They didn't have a calendar. They offer first fruits. How do they know that? How do they know when? 14 days after the first month, right? They hold a kind of feast of tabernacle. They mourn their dead for a year. You can see all of these things. Y'all can read this later. It's the Great Migration. Page 126. It says, watch this real quick. I forgot to read the bottom part. This is interesting. Look. And this is why one brother, which is from Los Indios Somos Israelitas, he has a book that mentions how Indio, the I used to be considered I and J, and the N would be flipped upside down, right? So watch this real quick. Let me continue here. This peninsula has from the time immemorial been called by the name Joktan or Jakatan, with the J sounded as Y and is now generally known as Yucatan. Many of the Caribs told me that their early ancestors were great and powerful people whom I cannot help identify with the Jews. Their laws relating to marriage were the same, and they were forbidden to eat the flesh of animals like the peccary of the south. Is this it? Oh, my bad. American swine, you see that? They were forbidden. These Indians have a peculiar law which they strictly obey. When a man dies leaving no children, his brother must marry the dead man's widow. And when a woman dies childless, he that was her husband must marry her sister if she has left one. The book of Ruth is basically this right here. For you dummies that think that she's she's an Israelite. It was just showing the exercising of the law and to how deep it actually meant to the Israelites. Okay. Oh, and here, I remember this, right? So, remember this right here. I remember, and I think I don't know, I think I showed it. Did I show it? Hold on. Let me see. Where are you? This right here, right? Okay. Again, I believe, sorry, there's a fly around here. I believed it. I honestly believed it. But then I found this right here. Give me a second. Let's see if I could find it. I should have been able to find it. I thought I had it. Give me a second. I'm almost done, brothers. Literally, I'm literally almost done. I want to bring this up. I don't want to forget. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Where are you? Give me a second. This one right there. I think this is it. I found a link clearing that up. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me just continue because it may take longer, and I want to make sure that we're done. Again, we're going back to our roots. Okay, I want to show you guys just real quick, in case y'all don't know this. Even in our diet, right? We show who we are. We show who we are in our diet. Watch Leviticus 11:22. It says, even these of them you may eat, the locust after his kind, and the bald locust after his kind, right? Now we know that in South Central and in Mexico, we eat these, right? Watch this too. Carne asada is in the Bible. And it says, Exodus 12:8, and they shall eat the, hold on, let's see, is it? Yes. And they shall eat the flesh at night, roast with fire, and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat. Right? You see that? That's carne asada. Seriously. Look. Unleavened bread, roasted meat, and bitter herbs. Y'all think I'm playing? Yeah, I'll give you one more. In case you non-believers. You Canaanites too? Yeah, you Fopies. If y'all are not my people, you may be Canaanites. But if you are, Lord willing, you wake up. Numbers 11:5. We remember the fish, which we did eat in Egypt freely, the cucumber and the melon and the leeks and the onions and the garlic. The leeks is like the onion but stretched, right? So watch this. I found that very interesting. Because look. Watch this real quick. It says here, what is it, 11:5, right? It says the cucumber, the melon, the leek, and the onion, right? Ceviche de melon with cucumber, with onion, cilantro, and lime. The cilantro is basically the green aspect of it. That's why they were considering using the leek. Okay? You guys think that, you know, I'm exaggerating. I'm not. Look at this picture right here. Ceviche de melon. You see? Cucumbers, fish, right? Leek, onions, garlic, or coriander at that time. Now we use cilantro and lemon. I don't know if I think lime wasn't available then. Maybe it was, but I do know for a fact that there's a few ways you can fry it, boil it, boil it, and then also cook it with lime. All right. Anyhow, I just want to make sure you guys understand, man. This ain't no hate speech. This is just truth, and I'm just trying to make sure that you guys can answer this, if you guys can answer it. Because again, I'm going to show you guys this. Okay, this is from the book that was presented to me. This one, right? Watch this real quick. Page 36. It says here, Mexico in 1537, a major insurrection threatened Spanish headquarters at Mexico City. Viceroy Antonio Mendoza reported that Africans had chosen a king and had agreed to kill all the Spaniards, and that the Indians were also with them. Terrified Mexicans, watch this, Africans, Spaniards, Indians, and terrified Mexicans officials. You see, these Mexicans, they weren't our people, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I can call them conquistadors. Your Majesty, the time is coming when these Africans people will have become masters of the Indians, inasmuch as they were born among them and their maidens, and are men who dare to die as well as any Spaniard in the world, and I do not know who will be in the position to resist them. It was in Mexico that Europeans tested their strongest effort to keep Africans apart from the Native Americans. You know, I find that funny because I always wonder that. Why in Mexico we don't really see a lot of so-called black folks. Past that, we do. Okay? Watch this. This is the second page 37. It says, let me pull this page 36 too. It says, black men far outnumbered their women and so sought Indian wives. A Native American wife meant if she was free, that children born to her would be free, not slaves, right? So extensive was the contract between red and black people. All right, let me continue. Page 37. I'm sorry, that's page 37. Page 38. Watch this. Again, we got to pay attention. What nations are we dealing with? Men and women. Okay, this is from Maroon settlements. Men and women's Maroons. So now we're talking about others. Africans, Indians, Maroons, and Spaniards, right? And the so-called Mexicans, the mestizos that have Mexicans officials that have white blood of their father. Men and women Maroons saw their settlements as the fulfillment of the American dream. They shelter home in freedom, practice religion, things of that nature, right? But watch these guys. Remember, test the spirit. I'm only bringing it up. From their first day, Maroon colonies faced enormous problems. They had to quickly find a safe location, plan defense, feed and clothe their people, and plan life of a stable community. Women were usually in short supply, and many Maroon raids sought to bring back African and Indian wives. So are Maroons the same as Africans? And if the Africans, are they the Israelites, or are the Maroons the Israelites? Or are the Indians, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Now we're dealing with more people. Right? People that look like us. This is page... Give me a second. Page 40. Some Maroons perched near large cities and lived as bandits. Remember, test the spirit. They raided local plantations, merchants, and even Indians and slaves. So we see three different people now, right? Their communities were unstable, often had few women and children, meaning that maybe they just ran by women and had children left and right, and usually disappeared in the violence they helped create. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I'm almost done. Let me go to Daniel real quick, and I'm gonna end it with this. Daniel 9:6, and it reads, "Neither have we hearkened unto thy servants." This is talking about all Israel, right? "Neither have we hearkened unto thy servants, the prophets which spake in thy name, to our kings, our princes, our fathers, and to all the people of the land. The Lord righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces." Now, they pause and say, when was camp? Oh, you see, that's why you guys look like heathens. That's a lie. Watch. "As at this day, to the men of Judah, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and to all Israel that are near and that are far off, throughout all the countries whither thou hast driven them, because of their trespass that they have trespassed against thee. O Lord, to us belongeth confusion of faces, to our kings, to our princes, to our fathers, because we have sinned against thee. To our fathers, because we have sinned against thee. Who were those Moors? Who were those Moors? And we dealt with that Christian doctrine. So why were they saying that Genesis 2 talks about the so-called black man? We read actually Genesis and then we go to Adam and it doesn't say that. It does not say that. Listen, with that said, like I said, man, you guys got to rethink that chart, Choked Out chart. Because I really believe we all mix with the heathens. And we all have confusion of phases. Revelation 13:9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. All right, Israel. I'll end it with this.
Pakistan. I have been to Burma. I have been to Japan. I've been to many places where you would assume people know about the cosmic reconnection. You got to go to Mexico. You would never associate Mexico with this level of understanding. But guess what? They, and they alone, they healed me. When I had gone to Russia, I was in England, I was in Africa, I went to Chinese medicine. Nobody healed me. I go to Mexico, and this Mexican healed me in 90 days. But when I begin to look at the Mexican integrity, I begin to see something very beautiful. Something that I never seen anywhere in the world. Mexico have a sensation that when I go across the border, I feel it. Like the pyramids of Mexico in Teotihuacan, they are 4 times larger than one in Egypt. But the Mexicans don't go around boasting that. Because they're very humble. They're very humble people. They are beautiful people. And we should really get closer to them.
Fam, listen, I'm going to take a break, and then in about maybe 2-3 hours, I'll go ahead and start another class to meet sundown, okay? Just letting you guys know. Remember, this is the older video, too, so there's a couple of things that I was actually speaking on that time that I was still unsure about, you know, with questions, a little doubt. I'm coming into the knowledge of it. So just be mindful, all right? But anyhow, give me about 2-3 hours, fam. I'll be back on. I'm going to do a short class. It's going to be real short, and it's actually relating to the story of the 2 wolves. I saw it earlier today, and I'm going to play it for you guys right now so you can see what we're going to anticipate. And then we're going to watch the video later today, and then we're going to go ahead and go through scriptures. It's something that really made me examine myself, and I think it should be it's going to be a short class, but Lord willing, very powerful, okay? This is what the video is going to be based on. Lord willing, that class it comes to fruition. I mean, that's my plan later today. Okay, so you family, love y'all very much, man. Let's go ahead and just kind of end this real quick. Here, let me go do this, and then we'll go on. Shalom.
Ical, hijo, abre los ojos. Tu cuerpo se queda con nosotros, pero tu espíritu debe seguir. Busca la luz. Aléjate de las sombras. Deja que nuestro dolor sea tu fuerza. Desde aquí iluminamos tu camino. Lucha como nosotros ante esta pena tan grande. Yo soy tú. Tú eres yo. La muerte que hoy nos separa, mañana volverá a unirnos. Eres libre, hijo.
Yo, somos lo que somos la esperanza del pueblo. Somos estos locos que pactaron con su suelo. Somos el sabor amargo de la indiferencia. Somos la sangre de Argueda marcando la diferencia. Somos la ternura de tu agua, somos lumpen. Somos guerrilleros con poemas, no preocupen. Somos el conducto de tu voz a causa de la indignación. Cuando el patrón al peón solo lo escupe. Somos Condor Canqui, somos Vallejo y Eguren. Somos en la mauta, no esperes que te aseguren. Somos asentamiento humano, somos la barriada trabajando en ella misma, no importa que nos censuren. Somos Cueto el nene, somos Chumpita Choblitas. Somos la cantuta, la historia que decapitan. Somos el sueldo mínimo en quincena, mi cumpita. Somos golpe inexorable que rompe lo que limita. Somos toda la América y también hijos de África. Somos la familia pobre por culpa de fábrica. Somos el amor perdido de tu Dios bendito. Somos esa consecuencia de vivir en su retórica. Somos hijos de un país enfermo sin seguro. Vemos quiénes somos y matamos el futuro. A punto de una embolia se encuentra la Pachamama, porque sabe quiénes somos y sigue tan inmaduro.
Seguro que por oro se olvidaron quiénes son. Seguro les fastilla la cultura en la nación. Seguro están queriendo, seguro están anhelando que le ponga precio rap y que no cumpla su función. Seguro que por oro se olvidaron quiénes son. Seguro les fastilla la cultura en la nación. Seguro están queriendo, seguro están anhelando que le ponga precio rap y que no cumpla su función.
Mejor seamos lo que apagan la televisión. Claro, somos Yunza, Tumbamonte y Aguar Fiesta, la Candelaria y Paucar, la magia de la sierra. Somos el San Juan en junio, somos Motupe en septiembre, somos increíbles, pero dime, ¿somos libres? Firme no lo creo, primo, me apena y me río de esta fiesta falsa enardecida en el mes frío. De ese 28 no conozco independencia, solo gasto innecesario, 100.000 deudas y un resfrío. Somos el residuo de una sociedad clonada, la hambruna, el desempleo, pobreza aglutinada. Somos el resultado de la educación de prensa, de esa mugre información de firme mal proporcionada. Somos resultado del cruel pasado atroz, mi bro. Somos responsables del futuro venidero y yo sigo creyendo que no somos esto es guerra ni combate. Mejor seamos lo que apaguen la televisión. Somos más que el boom gastronómico huevón. Somos más que el cevichito elaborado por Gastón. Somos choropampa que no olvida su mercurio. Somos ese poblador que ha defendido su cosmovisión. Así que dile a Curio que no somos su inversión. Así que dile a Curio que no somos su inversión. Así que dile a Curio que no somos su inversión. Así que dile a Curio que no somos su inversión. Somos 2015 Family Red Comité es poco flow. Quema Pum, falla.